Hey guys, it's Ethan here from Extreme RC 4x4, and today I have the Dingo sitting here in front of me. I just wanted to cover it because I got it back together last weekend. I did the transmission, the axles, and after that I did the shocks too. So basically it's just set up pretty much how I would have run it before I decided to do the Cherokee build. That's what this was going to be, but I decided I wanted to put it back together. I just wasn't feeling it for the Cherokee anymore. So we got the factory front bumper on here. I did tear out one of these D-rings, or the D-ring mounts, probably a couple years ago now. I can't even remember how. But I also put these light buckets on here. They were on the bumper. It was probably one of my first projects. It wasn't even a video that I posted on YouTube. I was actually making videos on Vimeo before, and that's kind of how this all started. In fact, if you guys don't know this already, this was my very first RC truck that I'd ever gotten. Or not really ever gotten, but this was the first hobby grade truck, so it kind of started it all. This is a Dingo kit. It wasn't ready to run, so we got to put it all together, and it was a good time. I really liked driving this truck, and I got it back together now. I still do like driving it, but got the big beefy fenders still on it. I do have a pretty much new set of RC 4-wheel drive rock sliders on here. The set I had before this, they actually ended up breaking, and RC 4-wheel drive covered it under warranty, which was really good. They sent me a new set, which is awesome. I got this RC 4-wheel drive spare tire carrier bumper. That's awesome. I've been running it for as long as I can remember. This is probably, I don't know, a long time. Right around when I got that the Jeep Rubicon body, I got this so that I could run the spare tire on that body as well. But we do have the cage back here. I took out this cross member where the spare tire used to sit, and it makes it a whole lot easier to get these pins down that cross member, and the tire isn't here. And I thought it looked kind of funny with that cross member still sitting there, so I took that out. But I don't have a set of hubs on here right now. I haven't put any on yet. I could probably find some in my parts pile. But we can go ahead and take the pins out. If you guys don't have a set of these already, getting some of these body pins with the really big loops on them makes it a lot easier to take them out. Oh, I also have this kind of like, this was a memory card case, but I double-sided taped it into the back here so I can actually put my pins and stuff in here. But it works really well. So moving along to our electronics and everything, I do have a chassis mounted servo. This is from RC 4-wheel drive, and it was a kit that was not meant for the Dingo. I actually put a pretty short top link on here so that the axle would sit right, because it was meant for the Honcho, which was a longer wheelbase, kind of more like what the 4-door Jeep Rubicons that they sell are. That's the wheelbase that it was on. So the chassis mounted servo, that's awesome. I love it. You don't have to look at the servo on the axle anymore, and it keeps all of your wires. The servo doesn't move anymore, so the wires don't have to move. This wire barely makes it back to my radio box, so that's good for me. I also made this battery tray last weekend when I was rebuilding it, because I wanted a place to put the battery. I used to run it on the side, kind of along the frame above the rock sliders, and that worked really good for me, but it was kind of a lot of weight hanging off of one side, and I used to run it in the back. That's how it was from factory, and I didn't want to run it like the axial batteries where it kind of sits up high, and I think it wouldn't work with my chassis mounted servo. So I did this. This is kind of STX-10-2 inspired. The battery sits really low, and it fits really nicely with my servo here. There's about just enough room for it all. And moving along, I have these kind of these plates here. I really like them. So when the truck flips over or whatever, you really can't see that much of the electronics, and it gives me a nice space to put things, as well as keeps all the crap out of the truck. I used to go through brushes like crazy on these motors in the winter, but ever since I put these in, and I have some fender pieces that go in here, I haven't put those on yet, but they also help keep the crap out of the motor. I think when the snow gets in the motor, the brushes get they get really soft, so you go through them really quickly. But we're basically running factory drivetrain, stock gearing. Both axles are stock gearing. The transmission, as far as that goes, I stripped an idler gear just from driving it. Really, it wasn't really abused at all. I'm kind of a gentle driver, but that stripped out, so I decided I would just replace it with metal gears, and they've been working well ever since. Tekin 35 turn motor with their FXR, ESC, whatever you want to call it. They sell them as a combo. The 35 turn is pretty well a perfect speed for these trucks. Gets you up to faster than walking speed at least, and it crawls really nice because it's got enough torque for everything. The suspension, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I put a little bit of grease in the place where you have all the O-rings and stuff in the bottom of the shock, and I'm hoping that will help keep the oil in a little longer. But I'm really happy with it. I like how soft it is, and that sort of thing. But oh yeah, so my transmission is, I think, reversed compared to how it used to be. In the stock trucks, I believe the motor would be more on our side and the slipper clutch would be in the back. So it used to sit like that, but I flipped the skid plate in the center around so I could move this so that I could put the radio box in the back here, and I could put my ESC kind of closer to it. So that worked out really well for me. I've been running that setup for a couple years now, and I really like it because I don't have to, or I don't run the battery back here anymore, so I can put this back here. And for a while I did have 2 radio boxes in here, but I don't need that anymore, and it allows me to run this battery tray, which is really good. It crawls really well with all the weight up there too, and I'm just really happy with how it came back together. I also 4-linked the rear end, or it has been 4-linked. I really like that too, because it used to have the 3-link, which was kind of like a V, and then it went up to a ball joint, which connected to the axle at the top where your 4-link would. And that was a good design, but you would the ball joint would wear out, and then the axle would kind of fall out and do whatever it wanted to. It wouldn't like fall out of the truck, but it would just rotate back and forth when you gave it power. That's what it used to be in the front as well before I did the chassis mounted servo kit. And what this does is gives you the servos up on the frame now. So when you do that, you have to link it from the frame to the your steering knuckle here, obviously. And you also put in a panhard bar, which runs across kind of similar to the angle of this. And what that does is it eliminates the bump steer that you would get. You might still get a little bit of it, but it eliminates most of it. And so when you do that, you only need 1 top link. You don't need 2, because it kind of holds it side to side of the panhard bar. And then you need another top link to hold the axle from rotating back and forth. So if you can kind of see it in there, hiding away. But yep, that works out really well. I don't have to mess with the 3-link geometry anymore. I also run this Tactic remote with it. This came factory with my Axial Yeti, but I put a Kubota controller on there, I believe, so I could adjust some things a little more, a little better, and it has a bunch of different features that I don't need with a crawler. So this remote works really well for me. It's just, all I'm using is 2 channels, steering and throttle. It does have the third channel here with these two buttons, so you do have that opportunity. I'm not sure if it would work with a winch, but Axial markets it to work with their 2-speed. So I'm not sure if I would ever get a 2-speed in this truck. I really love 2 speeds, but with a 35 turn, it does really well already on its own. And I probably won't get a winch on here again. I used to have an RC 4-wheel drive Bulldog winch on here back when they made those, or when they rebranded those, who knows. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos just like this. Let me know if you want to see some running videos of this truck, or if you want to see any specific modifications. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.